in the back of the mind of that spouse who has been betrayed is, okay, I've discovered this. What do I not know?
Hi, this is Peter Kowalke, and I'm here today with Trey Lovvorn, who is the co-founder of Undone Redone. One of the most challenging situations for someone in a relationship is when they've cheated, and their spouse doesn't know about it yet, but they know it, and they know there's this ticking time bomb, and maybe they want to fix things. They do want that relationship to work, but they've got this thing and this deep, dark secret. So what does someone who has cheated do to bring this out in the open and to start to repair this rift in the relationship?
Yeah, well, it is definitely a feeling of being trapped. That was the feeling that I had. That was my story. I was a heavy porn user, was addicted to pornography. That ultimately led in my story to crossing those lines of infidelity, ultimately having 7 one-night stands. And in my case, I was never courageous enough to share the truth. I was found out. I was caught. I would not recommend that path. Because even though our relationship was ultimately restored, now we were divorced for 6 long years, and we're back together now, but it took longer to restore trust, because when you're found out, and most people will be found out eventually, the truth does come out. It has a way of doing that. It takes longer to rebuild trust, because back in the back of the mind of that spouse who has been betrayed is, okay, I've discovered this. What do I not know? He's set up to what I found, but what else have I not found yet? But when you take the proactive stance, and this is scary, it's terrifying, because we don't know the consequences. We don't know how our spouse is going to respond. But really, you're giving the relationship a chance, because that secret is like a cancer in the relationship. Yeah. And it's a cancer for that individual as well, because now that's it's almost, to give an illustration, it's almost like at the pool when kids are playing with a big beach ball and they play the game of how long can we hold the beach ball underwater. It can be held underwater for a while, but eventually that beach ball is going to come shooting to the surface. And that's kind of what's happening here. You've got this huge, enormous secret. And believe it or not, it is impacting that individual. It's impacting, because for me, when I had those secrets, I did not want to engage at a deep level with Melody at a subconscious level, because I knew the closer I get here and the more vulnerable, the more chance this secret's going to come out.
You have to stay closed. You got to stay protected here.
That's right. That's right. And she knew something was going on, but she couldn't put her finger on it. And so those dynamics are taking place when there's this big secret.
Arguably, one of the worst things about the infidelity is the fact that it breaks up the couple, their connection, their trust, their ability to communicate. And so after the infidelity, the infidelity itself does that. But then after the infidelity, when you keep the infidelity and continue to hold that from your partner, you're almost doing as much, if not more, damage to the relationship by not sharing.
Absolutely. It's a great way to articulate that, because there is a breach in the infidelity. But let's say it's happened 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. But again, in my case, because of what had happened and the enormity of that secret, it was impacting the way I was relating to Melody on a daily basis. Yeah. At some subconscious level, there would be some quote unquote deep conversations maybe that we would start to have, but I would back out. I would pull out of that, because there was some part of me that said, whoa, you don't need to go there, because you keep down that path and the likelihood of the secret coming out goes way up. You can't do that. So therefore you just need, so I spent so much energy tiptoeing around the secret, which had also a very negative effect on the relationship, because I couldn't, again, back to intimacy, being known. I couldn't allow myself to be fully known. So it was more about crafting an image, wearing this mask that is so detrimental, because I long to be known. I long for Melody to know my heart. But because of what I'd done, I felt like that's not even an option anymore.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time to talk with me, Trey. I really do appreciate it. Anybody who wants to hear more, they can go to undoneredone.com/podcast. Thank you again for taking the time to talk with me, Trey, and to share with us.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you, Peter. Appreciate what you do. Appreciate this opportunity to share.